Welcome back to Time News TV. Today we bring you the latest updates on celebrities who sadly passed away. Join us as we look back on their lives, their achievements, and the legacies they've left behind. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss a story from Time News TV. Charlie Kirk was an American political activist, author, and media personality who rose to prominence as one of the most visible conservative voices of his generation. Born on October 14, 1993, in Arlington Heights, Illinois, he grew up in a suburban family with strong values of faith and discipline. From a young age, Kirk displayed a passion for leadership and public speaking, qualities that would later define his career. In 2012, at just 18 years old, he co-founded Turning Point USA, an organization dedicated to promoting conservative ideas on college campuses. Under his leadership, the group expanded rapidly, establishing a presence nationwide and influencing political conversations among young voters. Known for his sharp debating style and outspoken views, Kirk became a prominent figure in American politics. Beyond activism, he was an author and media host. The Charlie Kirk Show gave him a daily platform to speak on issues like free markets, limited government, traditional values, and his deep commitment to Christianity. His strong opinions made him both a hero to many on the political right and a controversial figure to his critics. Kirk was also a devoted family man. In 2021, he married Erica Francevey, and together they welcomed 2 children. Friends and colleagues often described him as passionate, driven, and unwavering in his beliefs, even when facing criticism. Tragedy struck on September 10, 2025, when Charlie Kirk was shot while speaking at Utah Valley University during his American Comeback tour. He died later that day at the age of 31. His sudden death shocked the nation and reignited debates about political division and violence. In the United States, Charlie Kirk's life was marked by influence, controversy, and conviction. To his supporters, he represented courage, faith, and an unrelenting commitment to conservative values. To his opponents, he symbolized a combative brand of politics that challenged the status quo. Regardless of perspective, his impact on American political culture is undeniable. Charlie Kirk's legacy will be remembered as one of passion, leadership, and a voice that left a lasting mark on a generation. Paul Bacalini was an Italian-American businessman, television personality, and football executive who gained international attention through his work in sports and entertainment. Born in 1984 in the United States to an American father and Italian mother, Bacalini grew up between cultures and eventually settled in Italy. His outgoing personality and sharp mind allowed him to build a diverse career that blended media, business, and sports management. In Italy, Bacalini became a recognizable face as a television personality, working with MTV and other networks. His charismatic presence and ability to connect with audiences made him a familiar figure, particularly to younger viewers. Yet his ambitions stretched far beyond television. He eventually moved into the business and sports worlds, where his entrepreneurial spirit truly took shape. Bacalini's name became widely known in 2017 when he was appointed president of U.S. Città di Palermo, one of Italy's most historic football clubs. His arrival was seen as a bold new chapter for the team, which had faced financial and sporting struggles. Young, dynamic, and ambitious, Bacalini represented a new generation of leadership. He promised to modernize the club, attract new investments, and restore Palermo to its former glory. Although his tenure as president was relatively short, it was a defining moment in his career. He brought energy, vision, and media savvy to the role, qualities that kept him in the public eye even after his time at Palermo came to an end. Beyond football, Bacalini continued working as an entrepreneur, focusing on projects that combined his experience in communication, business, and sports. On September 6, 2025, Paul Bacalini passed away at the age of 41. His death shocked many, who remembered him as a vibrant, enthusiastic figure with big dreams for the future. Tributes poured in from across Italy, particularly from Palermo, where fans remembered his passion and optimism for their beloved club. Paul Bacalini's life was one of ambition and charisma, marked by his ability to move between entertainment, business, and sports. Though his journey was cut short, he will be remembered for his energy, his vision, and his determination to leave a mark wherever he went. Stuart Craig was one of cinema's greatest production designers, a man whose vision and artistry shaped some of the most unforgettable films of the modern era. Born on April 14, 1942, in Norwich, England, he developed an early passion for design and storytelling. After training at the Royal College of Art, Craig set out on a career that would combine historical detail, imagination, and cinematic beauty. His work first gained recognition in the 1980s, when he designed for films like Gandhi and The English Patient. His sets didn't just serve as backgrounds. They were immersive environments that captured entire worlds, from the sweep of history to the most intimate moments. These films brought him international acclaim and multiple Academy Awards, cementing his reputation as a master of his craft. For millions of fans, Stuart Craig is best remembered as the creative genius behind the Harry Potter films. Serving as production designer for all 8 movies, he brought J.K. Rowling's wizarding world to life with stunning detail. From the moving staircases of Hogwarts to the bustling streets of Diagon Alley, his sets became iconic, shaping how generations would imagine the world of Harry Potter. His vision extended beyond film, influencing theme parks and fan experiences around the globe. Craig was admired not only for his extraordinary talent, but also for his humility and dedication. Colleagues described him as meticulous, collaborative, and deeply passionate about serving the story above all else. Even as he faced health challenges later in life, including Parkinson's disease, his legacy continued to inspire filmmakers and designers. On September 7, 2025, Stuart Craig passed away at the age of 83. His death was mourned across the film industry, and by millions of fans who grew up enchanted by his creations. Though he is gone, his work remains alive in every frame of the films he touched. Stuart Craig's legacy is one of magic, imagination, and timeless artistry. A reminder that the worlds he built will continue to transport audiences for generations to come. Jim Marshall, often called the Father of Loud, was the man behind one of the most influential names in music history, Marshall Amplification. Born on July 29, 1923, in London, England, Marshall's early life was far from easy. As a child, he suffered from tuberculosis of the bones, which forced him into years of treatment and left him physically fragile. Yet, despite these hardships, he developed a love for music, first as a singer and later as a drummer. By the 1960s, Marshall had built a strong reputation as a drum teacher, counting future rock stars among his pupils. However, it was his small, London music shop that changed everything. Musicians would often come to him looking for new sounds, louder, grittier, and more powerful than what existing amplifiers could provide. Responding to that need, Marshall and his team designed the first Marshall amplifiers, which quickly became a sensation. The distinct roar of a Marshall amp soon defined the sound of rock and roll. Icons like Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, Pete Townshend, and later bands such as AC/DC and Guns N' Roses all relied on Marshall stacks to fuel their electrifying performances. For many musicians, playing through a Marshall wasn't just about volume, it was about identity, rebellion, and freedom of expression. Despite becoming a global business success, Jim Marshall was known for his down-to-earth personality. He never lost touch with the musicians who trusted his gear, and he always emphasized that his work was about serving the needs of artists. His contribution went far beyond building amplifiers. He helped shape the very sound of modern rock music. Jim Marshall passed away on April 5, 2012 at the age of 88. His death was mourned across the music world, with tributes pouring in from legendary guitarists and fans alike. While he may no longer be with us, his amplifiers remain an enduring part of live music stages everywhere. Jim Marshall's legacy is not just about creating equipment. It is about giving musicians the power to be louder, bolder, and freer. This day, when the Marshall logo lights up on stage, it's a reminder of the man who revolutionized the sound of rock forever. Polly Holiday was an American actress best remembered for her warm presence, southern charm, and sharp comedic timing. Born on July 2, 1937 in Jasper, Alabama, Holiday grew up with a love for performing. After completing her education, she worked as a school teacher for a time before fully committing to acting, a choice that would eventually place her in the spotlight of American television. Her breakthrough came in the mid-1970s when she landed the role of Florence Jean "Flo" Castleberry on the hit sitcom Alice. With her quick wit and her now famous catchphrase, "Kiss my grits," Holiday became a household name. The character's popularity grew so rapidly that it earned her 2 Golden Globe Awards and even her own spin-off series, Flo. Though the show only lasted for a short time, it cemented Holiday's status as one of the most recognizable comedic talents of her generation. Beyond Alice and Flo, Holiday built a long and respected career in television, film, and theater. She appeared in memorable productions such as Mrs. Doubtfire, where she played the helpful neighbor Gloria, and in The Parent Trap, 1998, as Marva Culp Sr., roles that introduced her to a younger generation of viewers. On stage, she was equally respected, performing in numerous Broadway and regional theater productions, showcasing her range beyond comedy. Despite her fame, Holiday was known to value her privacy. She lived a relatively quiet life off-screen and avoided the Hollywood spotlight whenever possible. Colleagues often described her as humble, kind, and deeply dedicated to her craft. Her performances always carried a natural ease, whether she was making audiences laugh with a sharp one-liner or portraying a more serious, heartfelt role. Polly Holiday passed away on July 24, 2025, at the age of 88. Her death marked the end of a remarkable era for fans who grew up watching her transform simple lines into unforgettable moments of humor and warmth. She will always be remembered as Flo to many, but her career was much more than a single character. Holiday's legacy lives on through her body of work, which continues to bring smiles to audiences today. Alan Blickel was a gifted musician best known as the drummer for the American heavy metal band Baroness, a group that helped shape the progressive and sludge metal scenes of the 2000s. Born on March 4, 1984, Blickel grew up surrounded by music and rhythm. From a young age, he showed a natural ability behind the drum kit, blending raw energy with technical precision. His passion would eventually lead him to become one of the founding members of Baroness, a band that quickly rose from the underground metal scene to worldwide recognition. Formed in Savannah, Georgia, Baroness became known for their unique sound, mixing heavy riffs with progressive elements and emotionally charged lyrics. Blickel's drumming was at the heart of this evolution. His thunderous style provided the backbone to albums like Red Album, 2007, and Blue Record, 2009, both of which earned critical acclaim and cemented Baroness as a force in modern metal. In 2012, tragedy struck when Baroness was involved in a serious bus accident while touring in England. Blickel was among those injured, and the aftermath forced him to step away from the band. Though he parted ways with Baroness the following year, fans continued to admire his contributions, acknowledging how his drumming helped shape the band's most defining years. Beyond Baroness, Blickel remained a dedicated musician, exploring new creative outlets and collaborations. Friends and colleagues often described him as passionate, kind-hearted, and full of artistic vision. Even off the stage, he was known for his warm personality and generosity toward others. Tragically, on May 6, 2023, Alan Blickel passed away at the age of 39. His sudden death left fans and the music community in shock. Many took to social media to express their grief, remembering not only his incredible skill as a drummer, but also his spirit as a person. Though his life was cut short, Alan Blickel's legacy endures through the music he created. His drumming remains a vital part of Baroness's history, and his work continues to inspire aspiring musicians around the world. He will always be remembered as a driving force of creativity and passion in modern heavy metal.